Time now for a look at business with Mike Eppel from CityNews 680. Mike, good morning. How you doing, friend?
I'm okay, more or less. How are you?
More or less, yeah. I'm going to write a book that's called that. I'm okay, more or less. All right, so gas prices tomorrow, they're going up. How much?
That's the talk. Canadians for Energy concerned about energy policies or some such think tank predicting, Sid, that tomorrow morning the price of the pumps is going up 8 cents per liter to around $1.65. Now, this comes as a bit of a head scratcher. If I had hair, I would scratch it and tousle it somewhat. Because I'm looking at the price for oil's been down a little bit over the past week. Wholesale refined gas, which is where I typically go to look at the price direction, it's down 10 cents per gallon for the past week. That's the U.S. benchmark, and it does affect what we pay here. But the talk is that it's the switch. It's the seasonal switch, Sid, from winter to delicious summertime blends for gasoline. Okay, sure. I mean, that could just affect supply, but an 8 cent per liter price spike tomorrow. Plus, of course, your HST and your carbon taxes are all tax on a tax on a tax, and those just ratchet up incrementally as the price at the pumps goes up. So more government revenue there. So a lot of frustration, shall we say, for drivers coming up here in the next 24 hours. Fill her up today by the sounds of things, because you're not going to like what you're going to be paying tomorrow.
One can only assume, Mike, what that tank of gas is going to cost me in July going to Muskoka. One can only assume.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, we'll leave that alone. We'll leave that alone. I'm with you. All right, next up, inflation update due this morning. Oh, what are the expectations?
Right. Well, this ties directly into the first story, Sid, because if the price for gas is going up as much this month, what's inflation going to do for the month of April, which we haven't tabulated up because we're still looking at what we'll get this morning from the March inflation figures, which actually are expected to show a downward trajectory to 4.3% from 5.2% in February. Remember, inflation last summer spiked at 8.1%. And I don't even know what grocery prices are doing at this point. I mean, they've been up 10% month to month, year to year for the longest time. Have those come down at all? Maybe. I don't know. Consumers at this point, you know, keep in mind, we say, oh, inflation is cooling. That doesn't mean anything's getting cheaper. That just means it's not going up as much from a year ago. That is the frustration with the monthly cost of living data. You don't want to see a negative performance because that's disinflation, and that's actually negative for the economy. But again, it comes back to interest rates. If inflation is heading the right direction, let's take it, because the Bank of Canada will stay on the sidelines for interest rates, at least for the next little while, until April or whenever.
Well, Mike, these inflation prices around groceries, to me, that's the lead every day.
Yeah.
That should be the lead story every day in this country. Not a pissing match between Twitter and the CBC. Like I understand people are interested in that, but boy, we get distracted easy in this country. Really easy.
Well, you know, you mentioned grocery prices. The VP of Costco was at the Agriculture Committee hearing yesterday. Remember, that's still going on.
Yeah.
Because the government's trying to do something to increase competition in the grocery. And then they're not bumping up profits, just what, you know, Walmart and Loblaws and Metro and Sobeys all set about that. Now, getting to the Twitter squabble that got Elon Musk labeling all these organizations as government-funded media, and the CBC got that designation, and then they said, "Oh, we're not tweeting anymore. We're basically following the lead of NPR and PBS." And then Elon took it another level because the CBC said we're 70% funded. So Elon, look, let's face it, he's got direct control of Twitter, so he can put on there what he wants, but that's 69% government-funded media. I mean, talk about a jab. This is getting absurd at this point. Because, Sid, look, don't you have to designate pretty much everything of where it gets its funding from at this point? If you want, you know, if you're doing one, you have to do it all. So you've got, you know, think tanks, that put out reports. Well, where are they getting their money from? And, you know, if let's say a government, a political party is issuing things, does it not have to disclose or have a label of where it gets its funding from, or the federal government, or what have you? It's all a game at this point, honestly, and it's just a bunch of nonsense.
But you hit it there. Let's disclose where all the money's coming from. All the political parties,
we're at that
every
point.
single
We're all
one.
at that point.
What are they? Who were they funded by? Put that in the byline. Like this is like it's not funny. Like this is. I know that the frat boy who's running Twitter is having a good time with this. But there's a lot of repercussions, and quite frankly, Pierre Poilievre in Quebec needs to watch himself because Radio Canada is involved in this too. He needs to be very careful.
Well, not touching that. He's not touching that. Nothing.
Well, he has though.
Right?
Radio Canada is also not tweeting along with the CBC. This is now a group effort.
I realize that, but he hasn't said any, that wasn't the original argument.
So sorry. So
Anything
Pierre
in
Poilievre
Quebec
didn't
is
think
off
something
limits.
through? Shock. Yeah, that's never happened before. Anyway, topic for another day. Mike, it's always a pleasure. I enjoy talking to you.
Thank you.
You're a friend. Take care.
Thank you very much. You
Take
too.
care.